What is that smell?
Where is that smell coming from?
I stumbled on this video topic very randomly. I was in Google and I was doing a search and I typed in why my house, and then it just auto-populated with the word smells. And I thought, what a good idea for a video topic because I hate when my house smells. So today I'm sharing 10 reasons why your home may smell. And these aren't the typical reasons that you see in other videos. I'm not gonna tell you it's the trash. These are 10 things that you might not even be thinking about. And more importantly, I'm gonna tell you how to fix it. The way that our sense of smell works, and maybe you know this, but when you smell something, the first time you smell it really strongly. But then over time, you don't smell it as strongly. Think about when you put perfume on and you get a new perfume and you put it on, you can smell it really well, right? But then after a month or so, you start to need more perfume so that you can feel like you smell it. But guess what? Everyone else can smell it. It's just you because you've been around it so long, you've gotten used to it. I'm gonna start with kind of the smaller things and what you can do, and then I'm gonna work up to maybe some of the bigger things, the harder to deal with things. Listen, some of these are weird, but you know what? These are all facts. I have a very sensitive nose, and I remember very vividly when I was in college, I could smell mold and mildew on people's skin and in their hair, and I would just not even be close to them and I could smell it. And I know that this is because of their towels. They were drying their skin and their hair with moldy and mildewy towels. I think it was a problem more so in college because it's a lot of kids who maybe weren't quite taught how to do laundry, but I still smell it today. And I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why your home could be smelling, it could be down to your towels. Now, there's a lot of reasons why your towels could smell. Maybe you aren't drying them properly. Maybe you've used them after a shower and then you're just hanging them on a hook. You really need to spread that towel out so that it can fully dry in between uses. Or maybe you're not washing your towels very frequently. I mean, if you ask some people, they tell you you don't need to wash towels because you're using them on a clean body. That's not the case. You need to wash your towels. I like to wash mine at least once a week. Or another reason why they could smell is maybe you're actually washing them and you're putting them in the dryer and they're not fully dry and you're just folding them and putting them away. That could do it too. And this is a reason a lot of people don't think about. Maybe your washing machine isn't so clean, especially if you have a front load machine. Those have a propensity to get moldy, and your washing machine could actually be leaving that smell not only on your towels, but also on your clothing. Whatever it is, your towels are smelling, and this is the fix. You're gonna take your towels, you're gonna put them in your washing machine, you're gonna add detergent like normal, and then you're gonna add half a cup of baking soda. That baking soda, you just put that right in with the towels, right into the drum itself. That is going to take care of the problem. Now, if it doesn't take care of the problem, maybe it's pretty bad, maybe it's gone on for a long time. This is one of those times when I'm going to tell you to resort to bleach. I'm not a huge proponent of using bleach. In fact, this is the only time I use bleach. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to add bleach to this load if you need to wash them again. And what that's going to do, it's not only going to get the smell out of your towels, it's also going to get the smell out of your washing machine if that happens to be your problem. But make sure to get the color safe bleach if you have colored towels. So let's move on to the bedroom and let's talk about sheets. When you enter the room of someone who does not wash their sheets very frequently, you can tell. The standard for washing sheets is once a week. But I think this is more personal. I think you need to think about yourself. If you are getting into bed after you've had a shower, your sheets are not going to be as dirty as someone who has gone the whole day without having a shower, right? Maybe you have pets. Maybe you have allergies, in which case you might want to wash it even more frequently. And also what I like to do is when I am doing my laundry, I like to toss my pillowcase in every single time. So I do laundry twice a week, so that means I'm having a fresh pillowcase pretty much every 3 days. I think that when your sheets smell, it's often your pillowcase. It's not necessarily the sheets themselves. So just washing your pillowcase is going to go a long way. It's also really good to keeping your skin clear and bright, so I like to do that. Don't forget, your sheets really accumulate dust and dirt and dead skin cells, and this is a breeding ground for mites and things like that. You just want to be careful. So we're working our way up, and the next thing is it could be your shower drain. And if you know this smell, it is a terrible smell. And this is all for my fellow long-haired people. When you wash your hair will fall out a bit. That's normal, right? And it will go down into the drain and then it gets trapped down there. And what happens is the hair then attracts and traps and turns into this really terrible bacteria that just causes a very unpleasant smell in your bathroom. It seeps out of your bathroom. So what I like to do, if I ever notice this, is I like to do a baking soda and vinegar volcano. This knocks the smell out for me. What I do is I will pour a generous amount of baking soda down the drain, maybe it's a cup, and then I will take a generous pour of vinegar and I will pour that in. It creates some sort of volcano. It loosens everything, neutralizes the odor, and it just gets it down that drain. And then after a few minutes after the volcano has happened, then I rinse it with hot water and I'm good to go. If that doesn't work, because sometimes the problem may have been going on for too long and I didn't catch it, well, it's time to snake your drain. And I'm just gonna show you. You just need to use something like this. If you've got this, this is gonna take care of your problem. You just stick this in, it's gonna get the hair out, you're gonna pull that hair out, you're gonna put it in the garbage, and you're gonna be done with it. Pretty gross. I usually like to have my husband do it. I'm sure he doesn't like doing it, but he does, and it's so much better after we use that. If you don't want to do this snaking, they do sell, and I can link this. I don't have this personally, but a lot of people love it. You can put this on your shower drain. My mother-in-law uses something similar, and it just catches the hair before it turns into a problem. So let's head into the kitchen, and the kitchen, for me personally, is one of the places where it could be the source of a lot of bad smells. And for me, the kitchen is a large part of my downstairs. Anyone who walks in the door, they're gonna smell what's going on in the kitchen. One area which I think people never think about, and it just really isn't something that crosses their mind, but if you cook a lot, this is happening, and this smells bad. It's when you have old cooking oil on your cabinets. So when you're cooking, you are getting these ultrafine particles in the air of cooking oil, and then that cooking oil is settling back down onto your cabinets. And then what it's doing is it's attracting dust because it's sticky. And then that sticky, dusty oil starts to smell really bad. I have a very easy fix, and it's so simple. You can do this on your plain cabinets. You can do this on your painted cabinets. Basically, you're gonna take some hot water. You're gonna add a few teaspoons of liquid dish soap. You're gonna give it a little mix. Then you're just gonna dump a sponge in, squeeze it out, and clean it. It's that simple. That will easily degrease everything. It will get the dirt and dust out. It will get the smell out. It's so good. Back in the day when my husband and I were selling a house that we had been renting, the realtor had gone through and she said, you need to replace all of these kitchen cabinets before you can sell this house. These cabinets are terrible. We didn't have money for that. We were certainly not going to be replacing those cabinets. The people that had lived there had cooked a lot. So I went in, I did this trick. And when I tell you, the realtor came in a week later and was so happy that we took her advice and had gotten new cabinets. But that's how big of a difference it made. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button below. So many of you who watch my channel are not subscribed, and I would love to have you here. It's free. Okay, most of the time when my kitchen smells, this is the culprit. And when this area smells, it packs a terrible punch, and that is your kitchen drain, especially if you have a garbage disposal. Again, this is a very easy fix. You could either do that vinegar and baking soda volcano that we just talked about, or they do sell these tablets, and I can put them up. I'll link them below, but they have these really good tablets that will get in there. I like to do this at least weekly, and that just gets rid of anything that gets stuck on in there. These tablets are also safe and natural, and they work really well on top of it. Now we have the dishwasher. And I have to tell you, if you're telling me, no, my dishwasher doesn't smell, it's got a lot of soap and water in there at all times. The dishwasher is a huge source of smells. And it is a very popular spot for mold because it's always having water, it's often wet, and then you're closing the door so it's never really drying. And it's a little bit warmer than the rest of your house too. And when you are doing your dishes and maybe there's some food particles left behind, it is just the perfect storm for terrible smells. I personally like to use a dishwasher cleaner, and I can show you the one that I like to use, and I just put that in and I run it with my normal load of dishes. If you don't want to do that, there's a very simple thing you can do with vinegar. You just take some vinegar in a cup, you put it on that top rack, and again, run it in a load with your normal dishes. And then the key is when those dishes are done, and this is what you have to do, and I think this is what makes all the difference. When the dishes are done, open the door and let the dishwasher completely dry. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take many hours, but once it's dry, then your dishwasher will be perfectly clean. So while we're talking about appliances, and I did mention about the front load appliance and how that could be making your towels smell. So let's just talk a little bit more about that because this actually is a problem, but I'm going to tell you how to prevent it. And I know a lot of you guys hate the front load washing machines. I personally love it because it is more efficient with the water, and also it holds more. You know, you can do a bigger load in those machines, and I personally don't want to do laundry that much. I only do it a couple times a week, so this is good. When we had this washer installed, the man who installed it gave me a really good tip, and he told me that the rubber gasket where the door closes, it will get wet with each load, and you need to dry it when you take your clothing out. Obviously, if you're doing multiple loads, dry it at the end, but you don't want that rubber gasket to be wet because it's going to stay wet. It gets a little bit of water gathered like a puddle in that front gasket area. So you're just going to take a towel and you're going to dry it out. And then I like to take it a step farther, and I actually leave the washing machine door open when it's not in use. And let me tell you, I've never had a problem with mold. If you do get mold, again, the bleach comes in handy here. And you could take some diluted bleach and clean that mold. But if you do what I've shared, you're not going to have any problems. Okay, so now we're getting on to the bigger things. And when your home smells bad, a lot of the times you're going to find that it's the soft surfaces. It's not going to be the hard surfaces in your home. The soft surfaces are the ones that hang on to those smells. So think couches, pillows, blankets, carpets, these kinds of things really hang on to odors, whether that's body odor, pet odor. If you can take care of this by removing the covers of your pillows and couch cushions and washing them. If you don't have a couch like that, and I know a lot of people don't, another thing you can do is to sprinkle some baking soda. What I like to do is I sprinkle the baking soda before I go to bed, then I wake up in the morning and I vacuum it all up. This is going to neutralize the odor and it's going to smell so much better. Baking soda doesn't work on all surfaces though. You cannot use it on velvet couches, so be careful of that. And if that doesn't work, I'm a big fan of steam cleaning, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Okay, the next thing that could actually be making your house smell is your furniture is off-gassing. I know this is weird, but I know this happens. And this is happening more and more these days because they're not selling the best quality of furniture. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed, I think the quality of things is just going downhill when it comes to furniture especially. But what they're doing is they're selling a lot of glued particle board, and they're painting it and staining it so that it looks like wood. But guess what? All of that stuff comes with a smell. You've got the glue, you've got the stain. A lot of times they add flame retardants. Actually, most of the time they add flame retardants. All of this together is causing this chemical smell to off-gas from your furniture, and you can smell it. Maybe you've gotten used to it, but when someone new comes into your home, they can smell it. And the unfortunate thing is this off-gassing doesn't just last for a week or two. It lasts for months and months. So I'm going to tell you, if you're in the market for new furniture, I encourage you to look for real solid wood furniture, and you can find this on Facebook Marketplace. You can find this at garage sales. You can find this at thrift stores. You do have to hunt for it. It may take you longer. You can't just really go online and buy it in a day unless you're really lucky. But keep your eyes open and try to stay away from that furniture that's brand new and made really poorly and just creating this smell. So this next one, and if you have this, I feel your pain because when it smells, your whole house could smell. And that is your carpet. So again, we talked before about soft surfaces hanging on to these odors. That happens with your carpet. So a couple things here. If you can pinpoint the source of the odor, maybe it's a pet accident or something like that, you can spot treat that area, right? Fine. A lot of times though, you don't know where that smell is coming from. I'm not going to recommend baking soda here because it's a big surface, and that's kind of a lot of baking soda for your vacuum cleaner. You want to be careful with your vacuum cleaner and baking soda. You don't want to do that too often or put too much baking soda in there. But what I'm going to tell you and what's going to help, steam cleaning. Steam cleaning is going to go a long way. And if you have a steamer and you try to clean your floor and it doesn't work, I'm going to tell you to call in the big guns. I did this. One time, we had a ruined carpet in our condo. I called a company. I got a really good deal. And this super nice man came. He did our carpet twice. The difference it made, it was like a brand new carpet. He actually was shocked himself at how clean it got. I was shocked. We were both shocked. And it was amazing. So I'm telling you, if you are having a problem with your carpet smelling, consider calling in a professional steam cleaner. It's so much more economical than buying your own because this is a professional grade machine. It would be really expensive to buy and it works super well. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to keep on watching, I'm going to link a playlist for you here. So click on it and I will see you over there. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you here. Bye-bye.